Welcome. Today we're going to look at the 70mai A800SE-4G. The unit sitting on top of the box is a UP04. That's your cellular 4G modem. It's currently flashing green, which tells me that a SIM card is in it and it's communicating to the internet. I'll just put that aside. I'll just unwrap it. Just have a quick look around the edge of the box. 4K 30 frames HDR, 4G compatible, super capacitors. 70mai logo, specs. This is a unit that's been out previously, but this one's been enabled so I can use the 4G modem.
Black on black in this envelope. Rear camera user manual. What's happened there? Tape is all stuck together here. Mucks things up. We have the 70mai user manual, the 4K A800SE series user manual. These things here shouldn't actually be stuck together like that. Something's happened with the way it got packaged. A little bit of a crease on here. That's not good. Put that aside. This camera's size is very similar to the other 810, the A810. That lens looks smaller. On the side here, the micro SD card slot, the DC in, and the AV-out, which is a USB-C connection, speaker hole, ventilation, and two holes there, which I'll have to look in the manual, and the power button. And we have the buttons here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Side camera, rear camera. It's an RC22, but it's a 1080p camera. That's all there is in there. This other section. Here we have the rear cable. As I said, USB-C goes into the front, and this is the connector for the rear cable. See, it's 4-pin. And it's got a keyway in it, so when you go to put them in, and you plug this into here, you see a little arrow here, maybe, and when you go into here like this, you push them in, push it home like that. So now the rear camera is connected to the extension cable, and then that will plug into the dash cam. There, USB-C. Like that. That's how it'll look when it's on the windscreen. Okay, that's that part. And of course, the other things we've got here, we have the cigarette lighter adapter, 5 volts at 1 amp, maximum of 3.4 amps, and they put that red ring around it with that orange connector. That's where you plug your camera in, and this other one is a spare for plugging in or your phone to charge it. Cigarette lighter adapter, and there is no inline fuse or anything in it. And here we have the actual power cable. The cable is a USB-A to USB-C, and it's also a stepped up cable. I'm not a fan of it, but it looks like that might allow the two of them to be over each other. Yes, it does. So now we can have a right angle, the two right angles running up the windscreen. Power up the dash cam. That'll look a bit tidy. Maintaining the power to the dash cam. We'll power up the dash cam using, we won't be using this or this, because we're going to be using the 4G modem kit, and I believe it's still a 3-inch screen. Okay, so this cable needs to be used instead of the one that was supplied with the, so we can't use this cable. That was the one that was supplied with the camera. This cable is supplied with the 4G UP04 modem. I'll show you why you can't use it. If you have a look using a tester, This is the modem cable. When we plug it into the tester, we get to see lots of pins lit, basically. V-bus, CC1, data, S-bus 1, V-bus there, and then RX2 and TX1. So it's data and transmission. If we have a look at the other cable, this is the one that came with the dash cam. You can see why you can't use this cable. Perhaps you don't understand it, but this cable is only power with Shield. It has no data signals in it, so it will never talk to the modem. That's why we don't use it. So what we'll do now is same thing with the camera. They've got that right angle on it, and they've got this reduced right angle. So when they're plugged in, that's the rear camera, that's the modem. We still get a clean finish. So I'm plugging now the camera into the UPO4 for the modem. Already has a SIM in it. Now I'll just apply power. Okay, so red flashing. So it's trying to handshake with the ISP, the internet. Now it has. We've got a green light, so that's all good to go. And like every time when you first start the camera up, you need to do its configuration. Let's do that. There's a little 70mai guy going. Don't like him having a gun, but anyway. So we go okay here and move it along. The date today is the 2nd of April. Press this one here, 2 there, whoops, 2nd of April. Okay, the time is 11, yep, 58. So you can go backwards with the clock, which is nice. Parking surveillance collision on sensitivity medium, start upon the engine. Okay, so we'll leave that setting there. We've got the app. We don't have a memory card. Actually, it didn't come with one either. So before I install the memory card, I'll just disable the power. I don't want to damage the camera or the card. Replace the 70mai memory card. This is a 512GB memory card, courtesy of 70mai. Push the memory card in this. And plug these back in. The rear camera first, then the power. Bit of time to load the memory card.
Please format the memory card.
Little 70mai guy. Take off this plastic, a clear view. Yeah. 70mai guy, there he is. See him in the window there? Perfect. Alright, so we have the cameras, both the cameras working. So now we can go into, it's got recording on, Wi-Fi's off, parking can be used. It has the microphone off by default for some reason. This is to do the emergency. That flag. There it goes. So we go into menus, video settings. Let's have a look what we've got. We're in high compression. Stay at resolution. Stay in high resolution. Recording duration. We can only have 3 options. 3 minutes is the max. Logo is on. The speed indicator is on. Coordinates. GPS stuff is what it's saying there. Watermark. Anti-flicker. Now anti-flicker is a tricky one. I have it on 60 in Australia, even though it really should be 50, and that's because the frame rate of the camera will drop. At least that's what I've experienced in the previous cameras. Now, rotating the camera, flipping the camera, don't need to do that. Allow remote live power on, yep. Video encoding format. So we're back to the first menu. Be nice if it had one of how many menus this is. Anyway, so here we have the system settings, Wi-Fi settings, Wi-Fi hotspot. Yep. So now it's got Wi-Fi enabled, and there's its password. That's what the camera is. Oh. Okay, so we've done that. Wi-Fi hotspot on startup, yes. Screen standby mode, always on. And we've got clock screen, speed screen, screen off. Speed screen actually tells you, displays the speed of the car. I love this feature. Auto off when parked, auto off when parked. Never, because the UPO4 is going to do that. I'm going to work out all that. System. So at the moment I'm going to set the GPS. System language. Gee whiz. There's a lot of languages in there. I hope yours is in there. Date format. My preference. Well, that's one of my preferences, but I prefer that. Speed in kilometers for me. This is showing all the GPSs it's finding. Not finding any at the moment. This is inside. Okay, so it's auto detected the camera. I haven't done anything. I just started the app and straight away it's found it. And we'll add it. So the dash cam wants to be authorized, so yes. Okay, the dash cam's come back to its normal state. Device is added successfully. So I'll connect to it now. Wants to join. It's showing that the app is connected. The modem needs to be bound to the camera. So to do that, now we get out of here. So the camera's returned to working properly. The 4G module is working. Now we want to enable remote viewing. So we go down here. And we're going to click on these things. So this should connect. All of them should connect. Just having a long think about it. Please ensure the dash cam is powered on, the mobile phone is nearby, and then try again. The mobile phone is very nearby. Couldn't get any more nearby. Okay, P4 from being used. Okay, so what I'll do now is switch the power off and restart it and see if it makes a difference. So the dash cam has started, the network is live.
Alarm disabled. Start calibrating ADAS. Please keep the driving speed above 40 kilometers per hour or 25 miles per hour.
So we'll try again with the modem. How about that? Repowered. Important notice, the system will automatically configure the APN it has. Wonderful. Wonderful. Bound successfully. How cool is that? So now I'll be able to see what it's seen if I use remote surveillance. So now it's connecting to the 4G. It's trying to obtain the feed from the dash cam. 4G network is being used. Okay, so now move the dash cam and you can see my computer screen. Right. So it's working. It's actually working the way it's supposed to work. I know I sound surprised. I'm really pleased with that. And this is the rear camera. There we have that. There's only 2 cameras on this model, so you can just go around and around in circles. Let's exit this, and you can see here, you can see there's 3 things now. There's Bluetooth, Wi-Fi and 4G. This is working fine. That's how you use the UP04 or UP04 with the app, and how to bind it. The car's parked over there. I've got 4G signal.
Here I've got some bonus extra content. Remote accessing while in an underground car park. So what I've done here is I've connected from that location to the car. This is real time. So now I'm looking at what the car can see via my phone through the app. And I can take photos, I can start a recording. They're being uploaded to the cloud, and I can view them from the cloud. This is a rear view of the car, remotely, confirming to stop, switching between cameras, front and rear. Now we go down to the bottom right where it says My, and it shows me all the surveillance that it's just detected or been recorded. That particular page didn't refresh properly, so I scrolled up and down and that fixed it. So there you have it. That's how to remotely view. Thanks for watching.